I just hit 20,000 miles on my 2024 Toyota Tacoma. It's time to update you guys on my recalls, my recent mods, and another oil analysis that I just did, and just overall how the truck's performing. Let's start with recalls. In my 15,000 mile update, I had 2 recalls on the truck. One of them was for a potential leak on the rear brake lines, and the second one was to recalibrate the blind spot monitoring when you're towing a trailer. I've taken my truck in to have these recalls fixed free of charge, but let me briefly explain just what the issue was with the brake lines. So Toyota says that the rear brake hose can be damaged over time if there's enough buildup of mud and dirt in the rear wheels from operating under certain off-road conditions. This can result in a brake fluid leak, increasing the risk of crash. Now, my dealership applied the fix, so this is what it looks like after the repair. The second recall that I had fixed was with the TBSM, or the Trailer Blind Spot Monitoring System. Now, when you're towing a trailer, the blind spot monitoring system will actually take into account the length of the trailer, and apparently that wasn't happening. And so Toyota reprogrammed my TBSM, and now it's fixed. Now, as soon as I got those 2 recalls fixed by my dealership, I received another one in the mail. And thankfully, these are not huge issues and that Toyota is going to cover these. So this one is called the combination meter may go blank. So what does that mean? It says the 2.3-inch display of the instrument panel where the speedometer and the malfunction indicator lights are shown may be blank upon startup. Operating the vehicle with this display, blank reduces the ability to see certain malfunction indicators. If malfunction occurs while driving, this could result in a crash. So I actually have not experienced this, and this is the instrument gauge cluster where your speedometer goes. It's saying that it goes blank upon startup. I have not experienced that, thankfully. I don't anticipate this being widespread. I've heard of nobody experiencing this. But Toyota takes these things seriously. If it happens to one person and it could result in a death or injury, they take that very seriously and they fix those things for free. Now I want to go over the recent oil analysis that I did with Blackstone Labs. Now guys, I've done this every time I've got an oil change, so that's 4 times now. And the reason that I'm doing this is because it's going to be able to track any additional wear over time, let me know if there's any trends. It's essentially just like a health report for your engine. Let me briefly describe what's going on in this report here. So on the left here, we have what's called the elements and parts per million. So this is essentially what's actually in the oil. On the far right here, we have what's called the universal averages. So this is the average across all samples for this engine. So it's essentially like a baseline mark. Down here, we have the property section. So this is what is the physical condition of the oil. And these columns represent every time that I've done an oil change. So we got the first one, the second one, the third, and finally my 4th one. So on this oil sample, I had 5,712 miles on this oil. And the reason I went over 5,000 miles is because I was trying to hit the 20,000 mark before I did the oil change, because it just makes it easy to remember to do it every 5,000 miles. So at 25,000 miles, I know I need another oil change. And so that's why I waited a little bit. Now on the report, if the number is bold, that means you're higher than the universal average. So you can see that in my first sample, I was quite a bit higher in a few elements, and that's expected because that was my first oil change. But now on my 4th oil change, I'm high in iron. So I'm at a 15 right now, and the universal average is at a 7. So I was originally at 24, went down to 10, then went down to 8, and now it jumped up to 15. So iron is going to be things like cylinders and lifters. So what could be contributing to that? Well, I recently put on modifications to my truck. As you know, I put on 34-inch tires, a 3-inch lift. That could contribute to the additional wear. Also, it's wintertime here in Utah, and so cold starts are one of the roughest times on an engine. I also did a heavy towing recently. I went camping, I towed a camping trailer, and so I did that on 34s as well. And so those are some things that could have contributed to the additional wear. Now the other thing I want to point out is the viscosity. So I'm at 48.9, and a good range is between 46 and 57. So this is essentially saying how much life does this oil have left in it. And I'm at 48.9, and the limit would be 46. So anything below 46, it's out of spec. The viscosity is just not there, which means the life is just, it doesn't have any life left. I've said this before in all my videos, do 5,000 mile oil changes. And as long as you're doing 5,000 mile oil changes, you can use 0W20. Now, Toyota designed this truck to work with 0W20, And if you're going to put in a higher viscosity oil, it's just not going to be beneficial for you at all, because you're going to be adding resistance to all of the components. And this engine isn't designed to do that. It's designed to take 0W20. And as long as you do 5,000 mile oil changes, you'll be golden. Now I just want to let you know how the truck is doing overall and update you on my aftermarket wheels and suspension and just how that's been holding up. So far, I'm actually really loving the Icon Stage 2. This is effectively a 3-inch lift. These have the billet aluminum upper control arms as well. I think it's a nice touch. I went with the Icon Holst double black wheels. They are 17-inch wheels. I went with the Open Country AT3s. These are effectively 34-inch tires, and I put these through the paces. I've gone through snow, mud, rocks, and they've held up really well. Now these tires are somewhat of a unicorn because I wanted a C-load rating tire that's going to keep the weight down but also give me additional sidewall protection over the stock tires. And I wanted a 34-inch tire. I didn't want to go all the way up to 35s because that's going to sacrifice performance and fuel economy, and I didn't want to do that. But I wanted it to have the aggressive look and fill the wheel wells here. So I didn't want to go with a 33, and that's why I think 34s is just the perfect setup. I often get asked, what's my fuel economy now after the modifications? And when I had the stock setup, I was getting 20 mpgs, and now with the modifications, I'm getting 18. Another common question I get asked is if I've replaced my needle bearing, and the answer is no. And this is actually a common issue on Toyotas. When you lift them, the needle bearing on the driver's side starts to vibrate, and I haven't had any issues up until now. So around 65 miles an hour, I'm starting to get a vibration. You can feel it in the floorboards, and if I could replicate the sound, it sounds like womp, 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 and it's just at 65 miles an hour, and it's not all the time either. So I'm not exactly sure what sets it off. East Coast Gear Supply has come up with a clamshell bushing to help alleviate this vibration issue, and the part itself is really inexpensive. I think it's only $60, but the labor and time that it takes to install that is quite intense, and so I don't know if I am feeling up to doing that myself. If the issue persists or it gets worse, I think I'll take it into a professional and have that done. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully that video was informational for you. Please like and subscribe. I have a lot of great things planned coming up. I think you're going to be really interested in seeing some stuff that you've probably never seen before. So I have some good plans. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions. I do read them, and we'll catch you in the next video.